Gang, it's your boy with the fat SwaggyReacts, and we are back with another reaction video, man. And shouts out to Mr. Nightmare. He dropped a new video for us today, man. And y'all know I had to go ahead and react to it, man. Cause y'all know I've been slipping with the Mr. Nightmare reactions. Cause the last three he dropped, it took me a little minute to drop them. But I'm here today with this one, man. So today we're gonna be checking out 3 videos with disturbing backstories. So like, share, comment, subscribe if you like scary content, man. I'm trying to drop one of these every night. I need you guys to get this video to 200 likes and help me get to 50K. So subscribe to the channel, man. Like, share it on all your social medias. And that's all I ask for, man. You feel me? So without further ado, let's go ahead and check this thing out, man. Let's get it.
This was the recounted story of a Reddit user with the username BingBong1234, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just refer to him as Tom. It started when Tom was 8 years old, taking his dog for a walk through the neighborhood with his mom. It was a little later in the night, between 10 and 11 p.m. They lived next to a swampy, woodsy area on the edge of the neighborhood, which was in Lansing, Michigan. It was a very silent night except for the slight wind. Then, from down in the swamp, Tom and his mother heard somebody whistling at them. It sounded sort of like a bird, but each whistle was different enough where the lack of consistency made it human-like. The whistling would apparently fluctuate pitches, sounding higher then lower. With a concerned and slightly terrified look on her face, Tom's mother grabbed his hand and said that they should go inside the house quickly. But since this happened at a very young age, and nothing similar happened for a while, Tom forgot about it, until 2 years later. Tom was taking his dog out again late at night, and towards the end of the walk, Tom suddenly heard the same whistling noise again. In his words, with the same pitches and same inconsistent human-like tones coming from
Wait, hold on. So after 2 years, it just came back? What the hell going on here?
In his words, with the same pitches and same inconsistent human-like tones coming from a bush that could easily obscure a person behind it, just next to the front door. With the disturbing memory of seeing his mom, equally terrified from the same whistling 2 years earlier, looking down into the swamp at something neither of them could see, he ran inside as fast as possible. Years went by again without it happening, and eventually it slipped from Tom's mind. Fast forward to the summer of 2015, when Tom was 24 and started dating his girlfriend Sarah, who he moved to South Dakota with. For Independence Day, the couple decided to go to Pierre, South Dakota and watch the fireworks along the bank of the Missouri River. The two were parked at a free camping area behind a hospital, where people were allowed to pitch their tents, hang out, and see the fireworks up the river. Tom and his girlfriend were near the very end of the campground, and there were very few, if any, people around them. The fireworks began as it started to get dark. They sat right at the edge of the river to be able to see the fireworks. A huge thunderstorm was approaching, so the air seemed electric and the wind was picking up. The atmosphere was very eerie and unusual, as the video will display. Most of the other campers walked up the river to have a better view of the fireworks, but Sarah and Tom stayed back and were drinking beers amongst themselves and relaxing. And suddenly, the couple heard the sound of a paddle methodically dipping into the water. They saw a figure steering a canoe about 20 meters offshore. Around this time, Sarah decided to get more beers from the car, leaving Tom alone to stare at this mysterious person. And then he heard the familiar whistle that at one point haunted his childhood.
Oh, hell no. So after all these years, that shit still comes back right now at this particular moment? Oh, hell to the no.
Your whistle that at one point haunted his childhood. His entire body froze as he was quickly covered in goosebumps. It was the exact same whistle from his childhood, more than a decade later.
Hell no.
Tom looked at the figure, but it was way too dark to see who it could be. The person in the canoe was wearing a hat. And when they were perpendicular to the shore from Tom, they stopped paddling, turned the canoe to face directly at him, and whistled.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. I think y'all already know my slogan. You about to catch what? You about to catch what? A few hot ones, my guy. Like, what is going on?
Tom looked at the person and shouted, "Who are you?" which received no reply. The person just whistled a couple more times, turned the canoe, and paddled out of sight. As the canoe was almost out of sight, Tom grabbed his camera and got a shot of them whistling as they paddled away. When Sarah came back from getting the beers, she was very confused as to why Tom was so freaked out. When he explained, Sarah was also completely unnerved. Tom was under the impression that they were being followed and watched, and that they were in danger, especially if he was somehow being followed for 14 years by the same person all the way to South Dakota.
For real.
This raises some big questions, such as, was it a coincidence? Why was it always the same whistling noise? And if it wasn't a coincidence, who was the person? Why did they follow Tom, and where did they go?
Exactly.
To this day, there have been no conclusive updates on the matter, and these questions remain unanswered.
Wow, bro. That's crazy.
Emma Filipoff was 26 years old when she disappeared almost 10 years ago, on November 28, 2012. She was described by friends and family as a beautiful, creative, and private girl. There's been an extensive investigation into Emma's disappearance ever since, but so far investigators have been unsuccessful in determining what happened to her. A surveillance video from the day Emma disappeared shows her in a 7-Eleven pacing around and cupping her hands around the glass door as she looked outside, as though she was being followed. She purchased...
I think I've seen this story before, I think I've seen this story. Look, cause she, I think just walks around the store and stuff, just looking out the window, just looking out the door. You know what I'm saying? And then she just disappears. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's it. But let's continue.
Just a prepaid cell phone in the 7-Eleven despite never owning one before. Then she hesitated before leaving.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. I definitely read about this story. This is crazy. She just disappeared, yo. Like, yeah. It's like she was looking for somebody, or somebody's like waiting for her to come outside.
The cell phone she purchased was never activated. A little later, Emma got into a taxi, instructing the driver to go to the airport. She then got out of the taxi due to insufficient funds for the fare. She was last seen between the times of 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m., acting strangely in front of the Empress Hotel. According to a witness, Emma seemed confused. He saw her at a crosswalk, refusing to cross the street. He asked her if she was feeling okay, and asked her if she was being followed due to her paranoid mannerisms.
Right.
Emma said she was okay. So, not knowing what to do, he made a phone call to the police. Police showed up and found her shoeless, and they questioned her for a total of 45 minutes and then left. Investigators later found her vehicle the following morning, parked at the Chateau Victoria parking lot, containing all of her belongings, including her laptop, books, her passport, and library card. Investigators found a CCTV footage clip from a local YMCA 5 days before Emma went missing. In the clip, she walked in and out through the door 6 times, peering out through the glass.
Yeah, this was a weird one, man. This was a crazy one. Cause I feel like she's probably going through something, you know, mentally, or like maybe even physically. Like
one
she's
possible person
somebody.
of interest is in CCTV footage from a Vancouver store. The 2014 surveillance video shows a man in a Gastown clothing store holding a purple poster in his right hand. The store owner reported that the man was irritated and claiming Emma was his girlfriend and that she wanted to be left alone. Police have not yet been able to identify him.
Wow, bro. Wow. Like, do you guys think he might possibly have something to do with it? Her coming up missing? I don't know, man. Like that story, like, it's just weird to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Just weird.
The footage you're about to watch was of an episode of the old game show, The Dating Game, and on the surface it seems completely normal, and all the contestants seem to be regular people you'd expect to see in a typical cheesy 1970s dating show. However, one person on the stage was not who he seemed, and it was later found out this episode was filmed amid a gruesome killing spree. He was the winner of the episode.
Yeah, I also read about this one too. Like, this guy went on a crazy killing spree, bro. Like I think strangling them with their own drawers or some shit like that. Like some crazy. Hold on.
Doubt this episode was filmed amid a gruesome killing spree. He was the winner of the episode.
Yeah.
And his name was Rodney Alcala, a serial killer who victimized up to 130 women.
Yes.
This was part of the episode.
Yes, 130 women, bro. 130 women.
Bachelor number one is a successful photographer.
And he was on national TV.
His father found him in the dark room at the age of 13, fully developed. Between takes, he might find him skydiving or motorcycling. Please welcome Rodney Alcala. Rod, welcome.
He was introduced as Bachelor number one, a successful photographer who enjoyed skydiving and motorcycling in his spare time.
A bachelor number one, I am serving you for dinner.
Oh.
What are you called and what do you look like?
I'm called the banana and I look really good.
Can you be a little more descriptive?
Peel me.
With his suggestive quips and impressions, he won the contest, scoring a date with the Bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw. But in the years that followed his appearance on the show, Alcala would come to be known as the dating game killer.
Right.
Will that date be Bachelor number one, Bachelor number two, or Bachelor number three? Who gets the dates?
Well, I like bananas, so I'll take one.
Number one, Bachelor number one. All right. He's a skydiver, so he's got a lot of nerve. He's into motorcycling. He's also a fine photographer. Say hello to Rodney Alcala. Rodney, come on, say hello.
He was convicted of the murders of 6 women and a 12-year-old girl, with some of the crimes being committed before his...
6 women, and you already know a 12-year-old. Why do... I don't get it, bro. Children. Why do we gotta hurt innocent children, man? Like,
Convicted of the murders of 6 women and a 12-year-old girl, with some of the crimes being committed before his TV appearance. Investigators estimated his victims could be as many as 130. Alcala died at age 77 while on death row. He committed his first known crime on September 25, 1968, when an eyewitness in Los Angeles called police after watching him lure an 8-year-old girl named Tali Shapiro into his apartment. Tali was walking to school.
I don't want to hear this story, bro. I don't want to hear this story, bro. I don't. I'm going to sit through it for y'all.
Lure an 8-year-old girl named Tali Shapiro into his apartment. Tali was walking to school when Alcala offered her a ride, but he took her to his apartment instead. When the police arrived, the girl was found alive, but Alcala had fled. To evade the resulting arrest warrant, he left the state and enrolled in the NYU Film School using the name John Berger. With his good looks and charm, he persuaded many young women to pose in photographs for him, most of whom are presumed to have been...
I'm so happy that the little girl is okay. Thank God, bro. Cause it's
charm. He persuaded many young women to pose in photographs for him, most of whom are presumed to have been victims of his, and apparently a lot of them remain unidentified. In fact, you can easily find these pictures online. In 1971, he obtained a counseling job at a New Hampshire arts camp for children. The FBI added Alcala to its list of 10 most wanted fugitives, and a few months later, 2 children attending the arts camp noticed his photo on an FBI poster at the post office. Alcala was arrested and extradited to California. He only served 3 years in prison for this crime, because Shapiro's family had relocated to Mexico, and her parents refused to have her testify at the trial.
Bro, listen, no, bro, but we gotta go ahead and get this dude off the streets for good, bro. Cause again, after this happened, he killed over 100 and something women, bro. Just because you didn't want to just testify and get this guy in jail for damn near the rest of his life, like, bro, like, God.
Had relocated to Mexico, and her parents refused to have her testify at the trial. The years following, he would be in and out of jail, and the list of his victims would grow longer and longer.
Exactly.
Somehow, Alcala was able to make it on the dating show despite his criminal history.
And that's
of
crazy.
course, his record went unmentioned during his appearance.
That's
After
crazy.
Cheryl Bradshaw chose Rodney Alcala, the two were awarded tennis lessons, complete with outfits, and a trip to Magic Mountain theme park.
First, you'll receive...
Like, bro, that is crazy, bro. This man is like, bro, he's literally, like, he's literally, a murderer right now on a TV show. He's literally murdered people. And he's a like, what? And he win, and they went on a tennis date and.
Lessons from expert Naomi Besa of the famous Kirkwood Tennis Club. That starts.
The two were then escorted to a place where the show would allow the match to talk and get to know each other. And it was during this time that Cheryl Bradshaw started to get a bad feeling about Rodney overall, describing him as creepy and weird. The arranged date after the show never happened because Bradshaw called the show's office after filming and told the contestant coordinator that she didn't want to go because of the weird vibes that came off of him.
She said, Ellen, I can't go out with this guy. There's weird vibes that are coming off of him.
Well, this is a very smart woman.
I'm not comfortable. Is that going to be a problem?
A very smart woman, boy, because he...
And of course I said no.
The next year, on June 20th, 1979, 12-year-old Robin Samso of Huntington Beach vanished while riding a bike to a ballet lesson. A Forest Service employee later found her remains, scattered across a remote ravine in Los Angeles. Robin's friends told police that a stranger had photographed them on the beach the day she disappeared. Authorities obtained a warrant to arrest Alcala based on his record, his known habit of photographing children, and indications that he frequented the area that the girl's body was found. Rodney Alcala's DNA would later link him to the deaths of multiple other women. In 2010, he was convicted of 5 counts of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to death, but after New York City investigators began probing his potential ties to unsolved killings in the city in the 1970s, he was also charged for the murders of 2 more women, which he pleaded guilty to.
Good.
The actual amount of disappearances and murders that Rodney is responsible for remain unknown. It's crazy to think how Cheryl Bradshaw's gut instincts that something was off about Rodney
Facts.
and her refusal to go through with their date probably saved her life.
Facts. That is super fast because I'm telling you, bro. If she would have went on that date with him, bro, I'm pretty sure he would have killed her, bro. I'm pretty sure of it, bro. This guy's crazy. He got what he deserved. I feel like he should have got the death penalty, period. But it's just, it is what it is, man. Tell me how you guys feel about this reaction, man, by liking or disliking the video. Make sure you guys are tuned in tomorrow when I drop another one. And also like throw me some like suggestions down in the comment section, man. Like I see every single comment, so comment down below or tell me how you guys feeling, man. And we definitely gonna be like going through all the comments and see what you guys say, man. And make sure you guys are tuned in tomorrow when I drop another one, man. And SRT Gang, I am out this thing, man. Let's get it.